A source tells CNN the U.S. Postal Service has hired a PR firm as its credibility comes under attack. Late Tuesday, the USPS agreed to delay a set of controversial policy changes until after the November election. At least 20 American states have sued the Postal Service over disrupted deliveries. The lawsuits accuse the White House of trying to undermine mail-in voting. David Fineman is the former chair of the USPS Board of Governors. He's now board chair of the Fair Election Center. David joins us live now from Philadelphia via Skype. So a few days ago, President Trump said that he would block funding for the U.S. Postal Service, just in terms of blocking how it processes mailed ballots. I mean, what do you make of the fact that the U.S. Postal Service has really been politicized in this way?
It's beyond recognition of the United States Postal Service. I think most of your people, I traveled internationally on behalf of the Postal Service, probably, I would like to say, one of the most respected, if not the most respected post in the world. And one reason it was because it was non-political. There was a board of governors, 5 people of one party, 4 of another. I served during the terms of President Clinton, President Bush, and never did I have any interaction with the President of the United States. We ran it as a business, and that's the way it's supposed to be run. But it's not supposed to be a political football.
So when President Trump says that mailed ballots leads to fraud, what do you say to that?
I'd say show me the evidence that it does. There was a federal judge in Pennsylvania who, when the Trump administration sued, he said, show me the evidence that there is going to be any fraud. And as of today's date, that was last week, there hasn't been any showing that there's going to be fraud. This is just hogwash. Mail ballots have been in existence in the United States, in various states, since the early 90s. And there's never been any question of fraud with regard to mail ballots. I saw today that President Trump actually applied for himself for an absentee ballot in Florida. If his ballot can be sent to him from Florida, we can expect that other people's ballots can be sent to them and they can vote by mail.
So how important is, congressional oversight, just so that there's, just given what's happened, I mean, you've talked about it being unprecedented, just so that there's some accountability and at least an investigation into what's going on?
I think it's absolutely important. When I was the chairman and actually vice chairman, I testified in front of Congress on a regular basis. When mail delivery might have been a little slower than we expected in any locality, I can guarantee you that I heard from the United States senators or the congressmen. But what I didn't hear from was the president, and the president trying to intercede in a political manner. And this is unprecedented. It's pretty clear that the president recommended the now Postmaster General to the board. They call each other good friends. I've never seen anything quite like this. The chief of staff to the president was on your show on Sunday morning talking about, don't worry, we're not going to take any further action to take any sorting machines out of the plants. He has no role in this. This is not his authority. And it's clear that that is what's occurring. And what I'd like to call on Congress to do is to do a couple different things. One of which is we want to find out, what did the Postmaster General say to the Chief of Staff? And moreover, what did the Chief of Staff say to the Postmaster General? What did the President say to the Postmaster General? And what did the Postmaster General say to the President? The second thing I'd like to find out is, with all these cuts, let's follow the money. How much savings were there? And in the middle of a pandemic, you're going to cut back service? This makes no sense.
So just in terms, I mean, you bring up the Postal Service's financial woes. I mean, it's no secret the Postal Service is in debt in this country majorly. I believe it's something like $100 billion in debt. What sort of, I mean, politics aside, what sort of long-term reforms are needed here beyond emergency funding just to really help the Postal Service stay afloat financially?
In 2006, the law was changed, and Congress decided that the Postal Service should pre-fund pension plans. I don't know of any business that pre-funds its pension plans. Had the Postal Service not had that obligation, quite frankly, we would be in pretty good shape, but for what's occurred with the pandemic. The House of Representatives has passed legislation to eliminate that burden. It's languished in the United States Senate for some time. I think that everybody in the mailing community, that includes the unions, agree that that burden should be lifted from the Postal Service. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The second thing is that Congress, the Senate, they have found a way to bail out multinational corporations as well as the airlines. And there's no reason that they can't find a way to bail out the United States Postal Service at this time and make sure that mail is going to be delivered on time, that people are going to get their prescription drugs as they need them.
All right, David Fineman, live for us. Thank you so much.